Your reality right now, the life you wake up to every single day, is not the result of your dreams, your wishes, or the goals you wrote in a notebook 3 years ago. It's the direct result of your habits. Every action you repeat becomes a brick, and brick by brick, you build the life you're living. Some people don't want to accept that because it removes the excuses. It forces responsibility. It forces the truth. And the truth is this: if your habits don't match the life you want, you will never escape the life you have. Hope is beautiful, but hope without action is just decoration. It makes you feel motivated for a moment, but it changes absolutely nothing. People hope for a better body while eating the same food that drains their energy. They hope for more money while repeating the same habits that keep them broke. They hope for a better future while living the same day over and over again. Hope gives you comfort, but habits give you results. And deep down, you know that. Think about how your day starts, because the first hour of your morning can predict the next 12 hours of your life. Do you wake up and immediately grab your phone? Do you scroll through other people's lives before you even enter your own? Do you hit snooze, telling yourself just 5 more minutes, even though the version of you you're trying to become would never think like that? Your future is being designed in those tiny moments. The problem isn't motivation. The problem isn't opportunity. The problem is that your habits are built for the old you, but you're expecting the results of the new you. Imagine 2 people waking up at the same time. One opens their eyes, stands up, and starts with intention. They drink water, move their body, plan their day. They take control before the world can interrupt them. The second person wakes up, grabs their phone, scrolls, stays in bed, wastes time, reacts instead of initiates. These 2 people live in the same world, yet they will create completely different realities, not because of talent, not because of luck, but because of habits. Your habits form your identity. Every time you follow through on something difficult, you prove to yourself that you're the kind of person who can do hard things. And that identity becomes a foundation you can build on. But every time you break a promise to yourself, you don't just waste time, you damage your self-belief. You teach your brain that your words don't mean anything. And once that happens, your dreams become fantasies instead of missions. Look at your routines. Look at what you do without thinking. That's your life. If your habits are weak, your results will be weak. If your habits are powerful, your results will eventually become undeniable. Success is not an explosion, it's erosion. It's what happens slowly, quietly, consistently every day when nobody is watching. The world praises the final moment, but the real transformation happens in private. It happens in the mornings you don't want to get up. It happens in the hours you choose discipline over distraction. It happens in the moments where you choose long-term strength instead of short-term pleasure. You can trick other people, but you can't trick your habits. They expose you. They show whether you're serious or pretending. They show whether you're building or avoiding. They show whether you want to grow or you want to stay the same. And most people stay stuck simply because their habits make it impossible to rise. They say they want more, but their actions scream that they're comfortable with less. Imagine looking at your life as a statistic. Imagine someone could track every minute of your day, every action, every repetition. Would those numbers reveal a person who's moving toward their goals or a person who's running in circles? Would the data show progress, or would it show procrastination disguised as planning? Because sometimes people do everything except the thing that actually changes their life. They prepare, they plan, they watch videos, they read quotes, they wait for motivation, but they never change the habits that matter. You will never be defined by what you want. You're defined by what you repeatedly do. And once that truth sinks in, everything changes. Because suddenly the next hour matters. Suddenly tomorrow morning matters. Suddenly your choices matter. You realize that you don't need to change your entire life. You just need to change what you do daily. That's the gateway. That's the shift. That's the difference between dreaming and building. There are habits that keep you weak, habits that keep you average, and habits that keep you stuck at a level you've outgrown. And then there are habits that force you to rise, habits that sharpen you, habits that build a stronger, smarter, more capable version of you. The question is which ones you're feeding. The question is which ones you allow to control your day. because your habits are either your greatest weapon or your biggest enemy, and they never take a day off. If you change your habits, you change your identity. If you change your identity, you change your reality. Comfort is the most dangerous place a person can live because it feels safe while it quietly destroys everything you're capable of becoming. Comfort whispers in your ear, telling you you've done enough, you deserve a break, you can try again tomorrow. And the problem is it sounds gentle, it sounds harmless, even reasonable. But comfort is not your friend. Comfort is the slow, invisible trap that keeps millions of people stuck in the exact same life year after year without ever realizing what's actually limiting them. When you look at people who never grow, people who never rise, people who talk big but live small, it's not because they aren't talented. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they chose comfort over challenge, and challenge is where growth hides. The world has lied to you by saying the goal is to be comfortable. That if you work hard, one day you can relax forever. But here's the truth: the moment you choose comfort as a lifestyle is the moment your life stops expanding. Growth and comfort do not live in the same house. They never have, and they never will. Think about how comfort shows up in your life. It's the moment you decide to skip the workout, even though you promised yourself you wouldn't. It's when you choose entertainment over learning. It's when you stay silent instead of taking a risk. It's when you avoid the hard conversation that could change everything. Comfort feels like protection, but it's actually avoidance. And deep down, you know it. The things that scare you are usually the things that would elevate you. The things you resist are the exact things that will make you stronger. But comfort keeps convincing you that staying where you are is safer. Comfort is seductive. It gives you tiny rewards, a little pleasure, a little relief, a little distraction. But what does it cost? It costs your potential. It costs your ambition. It costs the version of you screaming to break out of the limitations you pretend not to see. Some people spend their entire lives wondering why nothing changes when the answer is simple. They never step beyond the edge of comfortable. They never enter the zone where effort is demanded, where discomfort forces adaptation, where you cannot remain who you used to be. Everything great you've ever admired in another person came from discomfort. Strength is born from resistance. Discipline is built from repetition. Success comes from facing fear, not avoiding it. Confidence is created by doing the things that make your heart race, not the things that keep you calm. You want a better life, but the stairway to it is uncomfortable. And the reality is most people choose the couch instead of the climb. You've probably felt this before, that internal pull. That voice saying you should be doing more. You should be becoming more. But then comfort steps in, you're tired. You've done enough. Just take it easy. And every time you listen to that voice, you reinforce a dangerous identity, an identity built on hesitation instead of action, avoidance instead of courage, comfort instead of growth. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your habits, and comfort builds the worst habits of all. People imagine that change requires dramatic action. It doesn't. It requires choosing discomfort in the small moments when it's easier to stay weak. It's choosing to push for one more minute when you want to quit. It's choosing to pick up the book instead of the phone. It's choosing to face the challenge instead of running from it. Those small choices create a pattern. That pattern becomes a mindset. That mindset becomes your life. And it all starts with your relationship to comfort. Think about this: every version of your future life, from the average one to the extraordinary one, already exists as a path. But the path to a bigger life is uncomfortable. It forces you to stretch, to grow, to adapt, to do the things you don't want to do. The question is not whether you're capable. The question is whether you're willing to be uncomfortable long enough to evolve. Because your best life is not hiding behind talent or opportunity. It's hiding behind the discomfort you keep avoiding. Comfort is easy now but painful later. Discomfort is painful now but powerful later. Too many people choose the pain that comes at the end of their comfort instead of the discomfort that builds the beginning of their strength. The cost of comfort is invisible until it's too late. Until you look back and realize that nothing held you back except the things you refused to challenge. Comfort slows your mind. It weakens your discipline. It numbs your ambition. It convinces you that staying the same is easier than becoming better. And little by little, without noticing, you shrink. Your goals shrink. Your courage shrinks. Your belief in your own power shrinks. Not because you're incapable, but because comfort stole your edge. Comfort stole your hunger. Comfort stole the fire that once pushed you to try. And the people who win in life are not the ones who never feel discomfort. They're the ones who stop running from it. They're the ones who use it as fuel, knowing that every moment of discomfort is shaping them into someone stronger, sharper, and more unshakable than they were yesterday. Your mind is the most powerful weapon you will ever own, and most people treat it like it's disposable. They let anything and everything enter at noise, negativity, distractions, opinions, doubts without understanding that whatever enters your mind eventually shapes your life. Your mind builds your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior becomes your reality. This is why some people rise and some people never move. It's not their talent, it's not their background, it's the mental environment they live in every day. People think success starts with money or connections or chance. It doesn't. It starts with what you allow to live in your head. If your mind is filled with excuses, your life will be filled with limitations. If your mind is filled with fear, your decisions will be small. If your mind is filled with chaos, your actions will be inconsistent. And if your mind is filled with doubt, your potential will remain locked behind mental bars you put there yourself. Your mind is your headquarters. Every decision, every instinct, every goal, every direction you choose flows from the way your mind has been programmed. And here's the scary part: most people have programmed their minds by accident. They've let social media shape their attention span. They've let negative people shape their beliefs. They've let past failures shape their identity. They've let society shape their expectations. They've never once taken ownership of what goes in or what comes out. If you look at your life and you don't like the results, look at your thoughts. Your life is the echo of your thinking. Think small, live small. Think weak, behave weak. Think distracted, achieve nothing. Every thought is either pushing you forward or pulling you back, and most people never take a single minute to guard the gate of their mind. You must understand something deeply. Your mind does not care what you feed it. It will accept anything. If you feed it trash, it will grow weeds. If you feed it fear, it will grow anxiety. If you feed it envy, it will grow insecurity. But if you feed it discipline, it will grow strength. If you feed it vision, it will grow courage. If you feed it purpose, it will grow into something unstoppable. You become what you constantly allow your mind to consume. Look at the conversations you entertain. Look at the shows you watch. Look at the accounts you follow. Look at the people you text. Look at the thoughts you repeat to yourself in silence. These things shape you more than your circumstances ever will. You can be in a difficult situation with a powerful mind and still rise. But you can be in a normal situation with a weak mind and drown. Your external life is always playing catch up to your internal world. You've probably heard the phrase, mindset is everything, but most people don't understand how literal that is. A strong mind gives you resilience. A strong mind gives you focus. A strong mind gives you discipline, confidence, clarity. Without those things, it doesn't matter how much opportunity comes your way, you won't hold on to it. Opportunities slip away from people who aren't mentally prepared for them. Think about how many times you've talked yourself out of something before you even tried. Think about the goals you abandoned not because they were impossible, but because your mind convinced you that you weren't ready, or you weren't worthy, or it was too risky. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your biggest enemy, and most people never realize they're fighting themselves, not the world. This is why you must protect your mind aggressively. You must treat it like a fortress. Not everyone should have access to it. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every emotion deserves control. Not every fear deserves a response. When something negative tries to enter your mind, you have to recognize it and reject it. When someone tries to limit you, you have to silence their voice before it becomes your inner voice. When your past tries to remind you of your failure, you must replace it with the vision of who you're becoming. Your mind will believe whatever you repeat to it. That's why disciplined people win. They control the narrative inside their own head. They decide what they think. They decide what they focus on. They decide what they believe. And because they control the input, they control the outcome. Meanwhile, people who let the world decide for them are constantly pulled in every direction, never grounded, never focused, never in control. You must build mental discipline the same way you build a muscle. Every day, you choose what to focus on. Every day, you choose what thoughts to strengthen and what thoughts to starve. Every day, you choose whether you're going to feed the mindset that keeps you comfortable or the mindset that forces you to evolve. Your mind will grow, but how it grows is entirely your responsibility. And once you take control of your mind, the world cannot control you. People love to complicate success. They act like it's a puzzle, a mystery, a secret only a few people ever discover. But the truth is painfully simple. Discipline is the shortcut. Not motivation, not luck, not genius, not inspiration. Discipline. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. The willingness to show up when it's uncomfortable, when it's boring, when it's inconvenient, when it's the last thing you want to do. That's the separator. That's the hidden advantage. That's the real cheat code. You can want results all day long. You can visualize, manifest, pray, hope, dream, and hype yourself up. But without discipline, nothing sticks. Without discipline, nothing grows. Without discipline, every good intention evaporates the moment resistance appears. People don't fail because they lack talent. People fail because they cannot stay consistent long enough to become who they're trying to be. They quit too soon. They let feelings drive their actions. They let comfort interrupt their momentum. And discipline is the antidote to all of that. Discipline is not about being harsh with yourself. It's about being loyal to your future self. It's about choosing the uncomfortable path now so that your life becomes easier later. Most people do the opposite. They choose comfort now and suffer the consequences for years. Think about it. The workout you skip today becomes the insecurity you feel tomorrow. The work you avoid today becomes the stress you carry next week. Every time you decide, I'll do it later, you're handing your future self a heavier burden. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It says, I will not betray myself. I will not break my own promises. Because when you break promises to yourself, everything around you starts to fall apart. Your confidence falls. Your ambition falls. Your belief in your own abilities collapses. But when you keep promises to yourself, even small ones, you build a foundation of trust. You learn that you can depend on you. And that kind of trust becomes a force stronger than any fear or doubt you face. Look at high performers, athletes, entrepreneurs, creators, leaders. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They rely on routines. They rely on repetition. Motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you finished. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. Motivation fades, discipline compounds. And that's why disciplined people achieve things that look impossible to everyone else. They are not better, they are just consistent. Discipline also frees you in a way most people don't understand. They think discipline limits life, when in reality, discipline removes chaos. It removes uncertainty. It removes indecision, procrastination, self-doubt, guilt, and frustration. When you have discipline, you know what needs to be done. You know when it needs to be done. You know why it matters. You don't waste mental energy debating with yourself. You don't negotiate with laziness. You don't live in a constant loop of should I or shouldn't I. Discipline cuts through all that noise. Think about how much time people waste resisting the thing they know they must do. They spend more time avoiding the task than actually doing it. They overthink it, complain about it, delay it, stress over it. But when you're disciplined, you eliminate that entire cycle. You just do it. And because you do it consistently, the things that once felt difficult become automatic. Discipline turns effort into habit and habit into identity. You become someone who gets things done. And here's the most important part: discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you create. It's something you practice. You build it the same way you build muscle, by using it, by pushing it, by stretching the limits of what you normally do. Discipline grows when you choose work over excuses. It grows when you choose action over delay. It grows when you choose progress over comfort. Every disciplined moment is a deposit into your future, and those deposits compound. There will be days when you don't feel like working. Days when you're tired, discouraged, bored, frustrated. Those days matter the most. Anyone can be disciplined when life feels smooth and motivation is high. But discipline is measured on the days when you don't feel strong, when your mind says no but your purpose says yes. When you act not because you feel like it, but because you decided long ago that this is who you are now. And once discipline becomes a part of your identity, everything changes. You stop being controlled by your moods. You stop getting intimidated by challenges. You stop being inconsistent. You become dangerous in the best way because you can rely on yourself, because your actions match your intentions, because you finally become the kind of person capable of achieving the life you've been dreaming about. Look around at the people closest to you, because whether you notice it or not, they are shaping you. They are influencing the way you think, the way you behave, the way you speak, and even the way you see the world. Your circle is not just a group of people you hang out with. Your circle is an environment, and that environment is either building your future or slowly destroying it. You cannot outgrow a circle that refuses to grow. You cannot become exceptional around people who are committed to being average. Your life will always reflect the standards of the people you spend the most time with. If your circle normalizes laziness, you'll normalize laziness. If your circle avoids discomfort, you'll avoid discomfort. If your circle complains, plays small, wastes time, and lives reactionary lives, you will absorb that energy even if you don't intend to. You become what you are surrounded by. Humans are wired for adaptation, and you will adapt to your environment regardless of whether that environment is empowering or toxic. Your circle is a mirror. It shows you who you are becoming. It shows you what your future will look like. And some of you don't realize that the biggest obstacle between you and the life you want isn't money, opportunity, or talent. It's the people sitting next to you every day convincing you that staying the same is good enough. Think about your goals, your dreams, the version of yourself you want to become. Now think about this. Do the people around you make that vision feel possible, or do they make it feel ridiculous? Do they ignite your ambition, or do they drain it? Do they push you to elevate, or do they distract you into staying stuck? Your circle can be your greatest source of strength or your greatest source of sabotage. Most people stay small because they're surrounded by others who benefit from them staying small. People want you to stay at their level because it makes them comfortable. If you rise, they are forced to confront the truth about their own choices, and that's uncomfortable. So they subtly discourage you, make jokes about your goals, roll their eyes at your discipline, call you obsessed, tell you to relax, tell you you're doing too much. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. You'll start shrinking to make them comfortable. Here's the harsh truth. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone deserves a seat in your life. You cannot carry people who refuse to walk. You cannot motivate people who choose excuses. You cannot save people who enjoy their own limitations. And the longer you stay around those people, the heavier your life becomes. Not because you're weak, but because you're carrying weight that isn't yours. Sometimes leveling up requires letting go. Not in anger, not in hate, but in understanding. Understanding that your paths are different. Understanding that your goals are different. Understanding that staying in the wrong circle costs you years. And once you lose time, you never get it back. Your circle should challenge you. It should push you. It should make you question whether you're working hard enough. It should inspire you to sharpen your mind and strengthen your discipline. When you talk about your goals, your circle shouldn't laugh, they should strategize with you. They should speak the language of growth, not excuses. They should remind you of who you are becoming, not who you used to be. You deserve to be around people who are hungry, people who are focused, people who are driven, people who talk about ideas, not gossip, people who take responsibility, not people who blame everything on luck, people who want more out of life and aren't afraid to earn it. When you sit with these kinds of people, your future feels bigger. Your goals feel reachable. Your energy shifts. You grow without forcing it because growth becomes the standard of the room. And when you experience that environment once, you'll never want to go back to mediocrity. You'll never tolerate low-effort friendships again. You'll never listen to the people who say, "It's not possible," because you'll be surrounded by individuals proving every day that anything is possible with discipline and consistency. Your circle will elevate your beliefs, and your beliefs will elevate your reality. You must also understand that upgrading your circle doesn't mean finding perfect people. It means finding aligned people. People on a mission. People who want to evolve. People who want to see you win, not because it benefits them, but because growth feels natural to them. These are the people who remind you that greatness isn't rare, it's simply cultivated. And once you upgrade your circle, something powerful happens. You stop needing validation from the wrong people. You stop comparing your life to others. You stop feeling the need to prove yourself. Because suddenly, you're surrounded by people who expect excellence from you. People who cheer when you grow. People who hold you accountable. People who make you better simply by being who they are. Your circle is not just a social group, it's the ecosystem of your future. Listen closely, because this part right here separates the people who talk about changing their lives from the people who actually do it. Most people fear pressure. They run from it. They complain about it. They act like pressure is a curse, a punishment, something that life throws at them unfairly. But the truth most people never learn is that pressure is the single greatest catalyst for growth you will ever experience. Pressure is the forge. Pressure is the fire. Pressure is the thing that either breaks you or transforms you, depending entirely on how you choose to respond. You've been taught to avoid discomfort. You've been told to seek ease, convenience, safety. You've been conditioned to believe that if something feels heavy, stressful, difficult, then you must be doing something wrong. But the strongest people you know, the most capable people you admire, the people who seem like they can walk into any room and command it effortlessly, they didn't get that way by avoiding pressure. They got that way by stepping into it. They learned to take the weight on their shoulders and say, good, this is where I get stronger. Think back to your own life for a second. Think about the moments that changed you the most. Were they easy? Were they soft? Were they comfortable? Or were they the moments when you had no choice but to grow, no choice but to adapt, no choice but to rise? You don't remember the easy days. You don't carry lessons from the days where nothing happened. You remember the nights where you sat thinking you were about to break. You remember the days where everything felt like it was falling apart. You remember the moments where you didn't think you'd make it. And yet here you are. You survived them. You grew through them. You became someone entirely different because of them. Pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is your invitation. An invitation to become more than you were yesterday. An invitation to prove to yourself, not to other people, that you can do things most people would quit over. You don't build confidence by reading a book or reciting affirmations. You build confidence by surviving difficult situations and realizing afterward that you handled them, that you didn't quit, that you didn't break. People say, I want to be stronger, but strength requires resistance. Strength requires struggle. You can't lift the same weights forever and expect to grow. In the gym, you know this. You understand that progression requires increased difficulty. But in life, suddenly people forget. Suddenly they want growth without resistance, success without stress, achievement without adversity. It doesn't work that way. And here's something most people never understand. Pressure is not just happening to you randomly. Pressure comes when you're on the verge of leveling up. Pressure comes when you're building something bigger than before. Pressure comes when life is forcing you to become a version of yourself that can handle the things you once prayed for. You want more money, more opportunities, more impact, more freedom, then you have to become the type of person who can carry the weight that comes with those things. Because greater rewards always come with greater responsibility, and responsibility always brings pressure. So the pressure you're feeling isn't a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're expanding. It's a sign you're stepping outside the limitations of your old self. But here is the crucial part. You must use the pressure, not escape it. When you feel overwhelmed, move forward anyway. When you feel stressed, breathe and keep building. When you feel like everything is crashing, stop and ask yourself, what is this trying to strengthen in me? Because every wave of pressure carries a lesson. Every setback is sculpting something. Every chaotic moment is chiseling away at the weaker parts of you, so the stronger parts can emerge. People who thrive in life aren't the ones with no pressure. They're the ones who learned how to function inside it. They learned how to keep their mind calm even when their world felt like it was shaking. They learned how to make decisions even when fear was whispering in their ear. They learned how to move even when everything inside them screamed to stop. That is power. That is resilience. That is self-mastery. Right now, whatever pressure you are facing, financial, emotional, mental, physical, it is shaping you. It is preparing you. It is building you. But only if you choose to let it. Only if you decide to stand tall instead of collapsing. Only if you stop seeing pressure as a punishment and start seeing it as potential. Because pressure will do one of two things: expose you or elevate you. And the difference between those outcomes is decided by one thing: your response. Do you crumble or do you adapt? Do you panic or do you focus? Do you run or do you rise? Every time you choose to push forward under pressure, you're rewriting your identity. You're telling yourself, I can handle more than I thought I could. And once you know that about yourself, truly know it, your entire life changes. Nothing intimidates you the same way. Problems become puzzles. Challenges become training. Pressure becomes fuel. Turn your pressure into power. In the end, everything you've heard, everything you've felt, everything that stirred something inside you during this journey comes down to one truth: you are not stuck, you are not powerless, and you are not destined to remain who you were yesterday. You are building someone new. You are constructing a version of yourself that doesn't flinch when life gets heavy, doesn't fold when things get uncertain, and doesn't apologize for wanting more. Every struggle you've survived has been shaping you. Every moment of doubt has been sharpening you. Every setback has been preparing you. You're not behind, you're being built. You're being forged. You're being pushed into the exact conditions required to become the person who can hold the life you've been chasing. This path is not easy, and it's not supposed to be. Growth demands discomfort. Discipline demands sacrifice. Success demands transformation. But you've already proven you're capable of more than you ever believed. And now, with clarity, with conviction, with pressure turning into power, you're stepping forward with a different energy, an energy that says, I'm not waiting anymore. I'm not wishing anymore. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm becoming. You are rewriting your story, reshaping your identity, and reclaiming your future. Not someday, not when things get easier. Now, this moment, this breath, this version of you that refuses to settle, refuses to break, refuses to go back to who you used to be. Because from here on out, you don't run from challenges, you rise to them. You don't fear responsibility, you master it. And you don't avoid the pressure, you turn it into the strength that will carry you into everything you once thought was out of reach. This is your turning point, your reset, your ignition. Everything ahead of you is built on what you decide next. Every step you take from this moment forward is proof that you are done surviving, you are ready to conquer. The work continues from here.